Hey mathematicians, today we're going to be talking about transformations of functions. And here is a picture of the ones we're going to talk about, all but the one in orange, horizontal compressions and stretches. That's going to be another video. So let's begin. First on deck, we have horizontal shifts. Now we know horizontal is side to side, meaning left to right. Let's see what it looks like in equations. If we just focus on the graph, we notice that the blue, f1 of x, and now the red shifted to the right 2 units. Now let's focus on that equation. There is a minus 2 inside the parentheses connected to the x. So let's think of a number line real quick. When we think negative, we normally think to the left because those are where the negative numbers are. But the key to remembering for horizontal shifts is if it's inside the parentheses, which they always are, you go opposite. We like to say, your ex lied to you, so we always do opposite of what they say. So following that logic, we notice that the blue graph, to get to the black graph, shifted over 2 units to the left, which makes sense because in our equation, we have a positive 2. And we know because it's inside the parentheses, we always do opposite. Instead of positive 2 going to the right, we really go to the left. So recapping everything, when we look at our equations, let's look at the red one. A minus is going to take us to the right, and a positive is going to take us to the left. Let's move on to vertical shifts. Vertical means up or down. So if we started with the blue graph, in order to become the red graph, we went down 2 units. And if we look at the equation, we have a minus 2, but this time it's not connected to the x. It would be considered outside the parentheses, if you will. Looking at this example, if we start with the blue graph and need to get to become the black graph, we shifted the graph up. It's a vertical shift up, and it's 2 units. If we look at the equation, we have a positive 2, and that positive indicates that it's going to go up, and the 2 is the amount. So putting it all together, if we have a plus 2, not in parentheses, that's going to move our graph up, however many the number is. And if we have a minus 2, we will move the graph down however many the number is after that minus sign. So you go ahead and try. Looking at our original graph that's already graphed for us in blue, and looking at what's in our toolbar, x to the third power minus 2, what do you think is going to happen? So this equation has a minus 2, and we know because it's not inside connected to the x, it is going to go down 2 units. So if you needed to graph it, what you could do is take some key points, usually points that are on the intersection, the crosshair if you will. You don't want to pick a point like that. Those are not really good points to pick from because they're rough estimates. And take each of those 3 points and shift them down 2 units. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So I just took the ones that were right above and moved them down 2 and connect it to create your new function. And here's the graph depicted for you. Let's try one more to make sure we fully understand. Look at the original function that is graphed for you and look at the equation that's typed into our toolbar. Which transformation is taking place and by how many units? Looking at the equation in our toolbar, we notice that there is a plus 2. And we know that it's inside our x, which means it's going to be a horizontal shift. The question is, do we go left or do we go to the right? Well, we know that it's a positive number, so positive would tell us to go to the left 2 units. So I'm going to do the same thing that we did last time. I'm going to pick some good points that are on the crosshair And this time I'm going to go to the left 2 units to get those new points, connect them, and have my final graph. Here's a clear picture of what your graph should look like. Now let's move on to reflections. Notice where the negative sign is for this equation. In function notation, it is going to be in front. So if we had an equation there, you would need to distribute that negative to every term in your equation. And if we look at the graph, we're dealing with a reflection about the x-axis, which it is. If we look at our graph, that's exactly what's happening. For this one, our negative is inside connected to the x. So if we're dealing with a polynomial, squared, cubic, quartic, we need to be careful and simplify it to see if the term is going to become negative or positive. If we're looking at the graph or we want to read the PowerPoint, we can see that we're talking about reflections about the y-axis. So let's actually talk about these reflections with an example. Here is the parent function, the square root of x, and here's what it looks like reflected about the y-axis. Notice where the negative is for this problem. It is connected to the x. And for this example, our negative is in front of the square root, and that is a reflection about the x-axis. So placement of the negative is very important. So now let's put both concepts together. Look at the original function that is graphed for us, and look at the equation that's typed into our toolbar. What transformations are taking place if this one was to be graphed? We have a negative in front, and we have a -3. So we know that the negative is going to be a reflection about the x-axis, and the -3 is connected to the x, so it's going to go to the right 3 units. So using those 3 points that are plotted for us, we can shift them over to the right and reflect it. For this example, the order really doesn't matter. Here's what your new graph will look like. It is shifted, all 3 of those points, over and about the x-axis. So the last one we're going to be talking about are non-rigid transformations. These are your vertical and horizontal stretches and compressions. The best way I can explain this to you is if you were to have Play-Doh and you were to be pulling it apart, you would be stretching it out so it would look thinner. So for today in this video, we're going to just talk about vertical. So here is a rational function, the parent function, 1 over x, and let's make some transformations to it. So here we have, instead of 1, we have 3 over x. And if we're looking at the graph, we're noticing that the red is pulled away, it is stretched away from the origin. Whereas if we look at the 3 being at the bottom, so it's like multiplying the graph by 1/3 or the equation by 1/3, it is bringing it in. We are squishing the Play-Doh closer together. So it's getting tight and close to the middle. Placement of numbers are very important, and it's important to know, did we multiply that original by 3? Or did we multiply it by 1/3? Because that'll give us either f of 2 or f3 that we have in red and purple. So to bring it all together, this would be a great time to pause your video and to jot this down. There's some really good information here talking about the function notation, what it looks like, putting words to it, and then talking about those ordered pairs. Remember how we were picking some points and then moving them? That's what's going on in the change to coordinate point section. So I hope this video helped. Let your teacher know if you have any questions.